Are you spending hours on code or trying to solve complex support queries? In this video, I'm going to share with you how our web agency uses ChatGPT in order to save time and money and be more efficient. Hey, my name is Lee Matthew Jackson. I'm the host of the Trailblazer FM podcast. I'm an agency owner and I'm proud to be here on the Conversio channel sharing with you our experiences. For us, ChatGPT has been a complete game changer since we rolled it out to every member of the team. Before we were using it, we were spending hours searching the web for help. We were experimenting with multiple snippets from Stack Overflow and other sources. We had long lead times to close client support tickets, and we were often drafting in contractors to give us some extra help. Since embracing ChatGPT, we now get the answers we need in seconds. We've got code that works. We close tickets quickly, accurately, and efficiently, and of course we're saving time and money. So in this practical video, I'm going to show you how we use ChatGPT for code, for bugs, and for support. Let's dive in. Here I am in ChatGPT, and I am subscribed to Plus, although these will work in the free account as well. For our first example under code, let's ask ChatGPT to generate a loop for my theme. This is for the product post type, and I want a H1 that contains the title, a H2 that has a custom post meta, and finally I want the content underneath. So let's see what code we get back. Perfect. I've got exactly what I need to copy and paste this into my theme and get cracking. Now, I would say that everything that you do within ChatGPT, you need to do on a basis of your own knowledge. Don't just blindly copy and paste stuff out of here and assume it's going to work for two reasons. Number one, ChatGPT will confidently give you answers that are sometimes wrong. Secondly, ChatGPT may give you answers that aren't necessarily right. They work, but they might not be the most efficient. So you really do need to have some grounded experience and expertise in good development practice. In our next example, we're just going to simply ask ChatGPT how to sanitize text using WordPress functions. This is a great way of us learning how it works and how we can use it. We can then take this and roll this into our code. Here's an example of a really basic prompt where I just want some information on enqueuing the color picker. Fantastic. It gives me what I would need. And if I was to ask for some further information, what should I include in the JS? And this goes on further to explain what could be included in that JS file. In this example, let's ask ChatGPT how we can list the most recent products in WooCommerce in an unordered list with the product name and price. This is if we were doing theme development. I love how it gives us all of the extra information about what it's doing, but we can see here we have our query. We're saying we're pulling latest 10 posts. That can be changed. We can see the title, and we can also see that we are grabbing that regular price. For further help, I could ask ChatGPT to comment it so that I know what's going on. Let's try that. And here you go. We know exactly what's happening here, pretty much line per line, which is fantastic. It's also really useful to use this if you've done some of your own work. Perhaps you've neglected to comment your own code, and you can actually feed your code into ChatGPT, ask it to work out what's going on and to help you with those comments. You can then go and check those comments and adjust as necessary. In a WordPress agency, you're probably dealing with CSS a lot, and here's a couple of examples. One's in the back end for us to style the WordPress admin, and the second is for some front end code. First, we're asking here if we can generate a style sheet template in order for us to style the WordPress admin. We want all of the relevant selectors. Let's see what happens. And here we have an example style sheet. We've got the admin menu, admin bar. We've got the general body, login, and copy. And it also tells us how to enqueue the CSS. Obviously, this isn't a detailed style sheet, but it gives you the basics, and you can give ChatGPT some more information on what you're looking for. If, like me, you go blank sometimes when doing something really basic like a responsive column layout, you can just ask ChatGPT for the help. Here is a prompt. Hello, please can you provide the HTML and CSS for a responsive 3-column layout using Flex? Please include some lorem ipsum in each column. Let's have a go. And just like that, here we have a very quick example. Here's our HTML, and here is our CSS. Simple. Again, as with anything you're doing on ChatGPT, you should be doing it with prior knowledge, not just blindly copying and pasting and hoping for the best. Let's move on to bug fixing. Perhaps you don't need ChatGPT to create all of the code, but you have hit a brick wall somewhere and you're not making progress. You don't know why your code isn't working. So in this example, we're going to ask if ChatGPT can work out what is wrong with this code. I'm actually giving it no information about what I'm trying to do. I just want to see if it can take a look at this function and work out what the problem is. In theory, it should spot the 2 missing semicolons. And let's face it, that's usually the problem in most of our code. Yay! It tells us exactly where the 2 missing semicolons are. And if I was to copy and paste that code, problem solved. Let's do another example with a WordPress loop. And I'm missing the underscore post. Let's see if it finds it. Yep. Straight away. Loop is missing the underscore post function. Tells me why. Gives me the right code. Nice. And in our final example, I've got a pesky console error. Let's find out why. And here we have it. 3 potential reasons. Number 1, have we loaded jQuery? Number 2, are there potential conflicts? And number 3, are we using the $ reference? And finally, let's move on to support. In our agency, we get plenty of support tickets, and it's really great to have ChatGPT there as your wing person, helping you respond to tickets and work out what the problems might be. Let's take a look at some examples. In this example, my client gets the following message when trying to upload a PDF in WordPress. Let's say 400 bad request, and I assume it's going to say something along the lines of file size, etc. So let's take a look. Awesome. It gives me a little bit of information as to why that might be happening so that I can go and do some research and potentially fix the problem. As a result of this feedback from ChatGPT, I may have then replied to the client asking for the file size or a link to the file that they're trying to upload. Here's another use case. I have a support ticket where a client would like to know how to change the title of their WordPress site. Please can you write a step-by-step email response that explains how to do this in WordPress? Let's see what happens. And just like that, we have our email we can use. And one thing I've noted in here that I quite like is it says here, it's worth noting that changing your title can affect your search engine rankings and may also impact your branding. So that's really helpful information, perhaps something I might not have thought of when responding. Again, just like with code, you do need to be using ChatGPT, however, with a full knowledge of WordPress or the product that you've developed for your client, how it works and what the impacts might be. So in this case, if ChatGPT had not said that, it might be worthwhile you reading the response that ChatGPT has generated, sanity checking that it is correct, and also adding in any extra warnings that you do feel are appropriate before you send the response back to the client. And in our final example, I quickly jumped onto our tickets and found one that was about changing the admin email, and the client wasn't receiving the confirmation email. So let's tell ChatGPT and see what they recommend. Fantastic. So I can check junk, pretty obvious. Use a different email address. Okay, but here's another one. Use the SMTP plugin. That's usually the problem that we find with most of these setups. The email is actually hitting a black hole on the server. And if you install an SMTP plugin, boom, the email arrives. But it also gives you an idea too, if you want to get a little bit dangerous, of going into the PHP My Admin and changing it in there. which I don't recommend. So you should probably use ChatGPT with that knowledge that I've kind of used as a disclaimer throughout this entire video. So folks, how are you using ChatGPT in your agency? Do you refuse to use AI in your business? Let us know in the comments below. Whilst you're there, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and press that bell notification icon. If we don't see you in the comments, how about we see you in the next episode?